everybody, I'm your host, Lieutenant Joe Pangaro, and this is Hope is Not a Tactic, the School Safety and Security Show. One of the things that we talk about when we go into schools and we talk with administrators and teachers, we try and help them understand the products that they need to have to help keep their schools safe. Now, as a school safety and security director myself, I know that you are inundated with people trying to sell you things. There are a million different products, software, equipment, everything you can possibly imagine out there that people want to sell to you to help you keep your kids safe. The reality is, what do you really need? And most importantly, what really works? What has some value to it for you? So as part of what we're doing here, every couple of weeks we're going to jump in with a different product, a different manufacturer. We're going to look at some of the different things that are out there to give you an inside understanding of how these things work, and then you can decide if this is something you think you want. Now, my company, True Security Design, they are a sponsor of this show. They help us to bring this show to you. So we have a couple of individual products that I want to talk about. All right, so one of the things that we want to do is be able to lock down quickly. You know, you've heard me say before that time equals life. Well, that is absolutely probably the truest statement of being involved in an active shooter type of a scenario or a workplace violence event. The reality is, once that shooter announces their presence at your facility, the faster everybody can lock down, the better. Now, we know that many schools have older types of door locks. Those door locks require the teacher to go into the hallway with a key and lock that door. Now, I can tell you, the reality is, anybody who deals with emergencies can tell you, when there is some kind of a traumatic event going on, like an active shooter event, the first thing you're going to lose are your fine motor skills. You are not going to be able to take a key and put it in a lock and lock that door, which means your classroom, yourself, your students are all going to be vulnerable. So there's a couple ways we can deal with that. There are really great locks that we can get for the doors that have a thumb turn inside the door. So you close the door's closed, you turn the thumb turn, and that'll lock the door. That's a big motor skill. That's something you can do when you're upset, when you're scared. Okay? There are also things that you can buy to attach to the doors. Now, fire codes allow some of these things, some don't. The problem with those two options is that they are very, very expensive. You know, you could pay a couple $100 for a door lock. How many locks do you have in your school? So unless you have a big project to change over those locks, you need to find another option. So one of the easiest options that we have out there are door magnets. So now I'm going to demonstrate how exactly these door magnets work. How can they keep your classroom safe? So what I said earlier, many of school locks have the kind of door where you have to go out in the hallway in an emergency. The teacher has to come out in the hallway, put the key in the lock, try and lock it. We know that's not going to happen. So what we do here with this magnet, like many standard school doors, it's metallic. You take your door, you put it in the lock position. So the door is already locked all day long. The problem when you do that without a magnet is that, and I've talked to the teachers, is the kids have to come and go from the room. You have to keep stopping, interrupting what you're doing to go and unlock the door, bring the kid back and forth. It gets annoying, it disrupts your entire flow of teaching. So what you do here is we put the door in the lock position. You take the magnet and you put it over the throw hole. Right, that's where the throw from the lock goes in there. Now, with the door in the lock position and the magnet in place, that door can open and close all day long. No problem. It closes enough so that you have privacy in the room. You don't have to worry about hearing stuff in the hallway. But in an emergency, all anyone has to do, student or a teacher, is simply move that magnet out of the way of that throw hole because the door is already in the lock position. So, you get a call for the lockdown, and that door is locked. So you can pull it out, you can slide it up and down, whatever works for you. But in the meantime, door stays locked. Get in and out, and you're locked in safe. What I want to talk about in addition to the magnets are go bags. So I get a lot of calls from people, hey, what happens if we have to evacuate? What happens if we have to, get up and go and run out of the school? Which does happen, right? Weather-related types of things. Could be some type of a chemical kind of a problem, or it could be in the aftermath of a violent incident, we have to get up and go, and you may have to go shelter somewhere for a while. You may have to stay in your classroom for multiple hours at a time. So what are you going to do for the kids in that room? For yourself. They need to have some water. They might need something to eat. You might need something to write on. If you have to leave and you're walking your kids a mile or two away, what if somebody falls down and gets hurt? You need some kind of a mobile first aid kit. In the worst of all scenarios, what if somebody was shot in your classroom? What if somebody received a puncture wound from a knife or falling down when you're walking through the woods to get the kids out of there? All right, so some of the things we could put in the bags, there's some options. We have lots of options. But the bags come to you completely stocked with everything you would need in them.
Rick, hurry, we have to evacuate the building now.
Okay, so let's take a look at our True Security Design Go bags for the classroom, or actually for any part of your school, because in my school district, we had extras hanging up in the lunchrooms, in the cafeterias, any place where a teacher might be with some students. And what if the teacher forgot the bag? There's always extras so that somebody could grab it and take off. What if there are people there that can help? Maybe there's parents around sometimes and you have to evacuate. There's an extra bag for them. So we have extra supplies. So first, let's take a look at the bag itself. The bag is an excellent bag. It really is. There's lots of different kinds of bags you can find. We looked all around to find one that was quality, that could do the job that we wanted it to do without making it too big. You can get something like a rucksack, you know, nobody's going to carry that around. This has to be for different sized people carrying this around. When this bag is fully loaded with all of our supplies, it's about 10 pounds, just under. So that's not too bad to have the things you need to go with you. So there are different pockets in here. There's a water bottle pocket out here or something. Teacher wants to put something of their own out there, whatever they want to do. The bands in the back have padding in the back. There's padding along the back of the bag itself. It's very comfortable. I've put it on, loaded up. You can't even really feel it. It's really, really nice. So even a student could carry it for you if you had to. And so we have two different kinds of contents that we put inside the bag. We have the standard bag, and we'll go over that, and then we have some options, things that you can throw in that you can add to the package. All right, so initially what we have in there is we have a safety vest. There's a safety vest in there built in, so when you're walking you can put this on so people can identify you as a school personnel or somebody in charge of the children. As we talk about in our other programs, having a vest on identifies you as an authority. So that puts you on, helps people to see where you are, law enforcement, anybody else that needs to find the adult in the crowd of everyone moving, they can see you. So that's in there. We have in there a really nice first aid kit. It is filled with as many things as we could find that would be helpful out on the trail. All right, so you got a cold compress. You know, you've seen them at sports events. You know, the kids hurt their knee or something. You hit the bag, it gets very cold. It can do that. You have Band-Aids. You have rubber gloves. You have gauze. There's all kinds of ointments in here, antibiotic ointment. There's tape. Lots and lots of things in here to help you when you're moving these kids or when you get to the place you're at. People get injured. It happens. Things happen. So the first aid kit is right in there. There's a flashlight in here. All right, very simple little flashlight, but you never know. You might be moving at the end of the day. It could be winter. It could be a nighttime event when you have to get everybody out of there. So there's a flashlight in the bag. All right, we have an emergency whistle. It's one of my favorite things. It comes on a nice lanyard. All right, so you can put that around your neck and you can call for help. Whatever. There's an emergency whistle in this package for you. All right, next we have, these are individual bags of water. Kind of like a juice bag kind of thing that we'd see back in the day. But these are sealed. They're good for multiple years to stay in the pack. And, you know, the kids need something to drink. They get thirsty. You know, kids are always thirsty. Sometimes I get thirsty. I want a drink of water. So you have, in this pack, the basic pack is 24 things of water. All right, we also have a 30 pack of water, which is a separate kind of an order, but it's got a couple more. So you might have a bigger class. You might need more than 24. So we have those. We also have in there, this is a school safe, nut-free bar, food bar. All right, so there are 4 of them in the pack. Now you say I got 20 kids, there's 4 of them. Really, it's just to give somebody something when they're hungry. If they're sitting there for a while, they want something to chew on. You can certainly order more. We have additional things that you can order and stick in the bag, but it comes with 4. This is an emergency pack. This is to get you through that emergency, to get you from one place to another. Maybe you have to hunker down for a while in the classroom. You'd have some basic supplies. All right, so we have the water, we got the food bars, we got all this. There are also various types of writing implements. All right, you got a highlighter, we got a marker, there's a pen, there's a clipboard. Every day you put your class list in the bag. So if you have to run, you know who is in class that day. Because you get outside, the authorities are going to want to know, where are those kids? Who was in school today? This way we're not searching for kids that were at home that didn't feel well or on a trip or vacation, whatever. So you get a clipboard, you stick your class list in there every day. There is a pad of paper, because you got to write notes. A lot of schools still use the runner process, where if you're going from one place to another, you got to write a note, you give it to a runner, the runner takes it off and sends it to the group. We stick one of our door magnets in there, because you never know, you might get to a location, you might be there for a while, you need a door magnet, so we stick it in there. All right, that's your basic pack, basic go bag. Some of the additional things that are important that we think you should probably have in there, but we kind of separated it because you never know when you're going to be able to you know, get these extra things. Money is hard to come by sometimes. We understand that. So we tried to set it up so you can get into the bag, and you can add some extras later, or you get it with the extras now, whatever you want. This is called a quick clot sponge. Quick clot is a material that comes to us from the military. What we had to do is, it's a cloth with the chemical on it, and if you have a bleed, some kind of a bleed, a gunshot wound or some kind of a puncture wound, you take the cloth, you put it right on the wound, and it helps to clot it up, and it buys you time. It slows the bleeding down. So this is our bleed kit. And then this is excellent. This is a one-person tourniquet. All right, very, very simple to operate. You put it on your arm. It's got the time, you can put the time on there, what time you put it on, and it's got the twist, you twist it tight, you wrap it all around, and you can help somebody, leg, arm, or whatever. Tourniquet, very, very important to have. So those are kind of the extra things you could put into the bag. As you can see, there's a lot of stuff in here. But there's things that, as a security director, I knew when I took these kids out the door with their teachers, these are the things I found we needed. Okay, so there's a quick review of a couple of pieces of very simple equipment. You know, if you don't have the money to change all your locks or to buy these additional doors or to change any of the hardware, which is very expensive, the magnets are very inexpensive. You know, reach out to us, email us. They're only $5 a piece. So you could put them on every classroom very inexpensively, and maybe down the road you change your locks, but this buys you some time in the meantime. During an event like an active shooter, time equals life. You go real fast with the locks. And also the go bags. Every teacher should have a go bag. Every person in that building should have a go bag, because you never know what you're going to need out of that bag if everyone has to leave the building. In my school district, as the director of school safety and security, I saw this need because we had to evacuate a couple of buildings, weather related, electrical related, fire related. We had to get out of the buildings, and I was walking kids up the street. Kids fell down, they hurt their legs, the kid was thirsty, there was a child that needed something to eat. So we have school safe food bars in the bags. Everything you need is in that bag. So reach out, truesecuritydesign.com, or you can email me, jpangaro@truesecuritydesign.com, and we'll help put you together with this stuff. In the meantime, we'll be back with more safety and security equipment as Hope is Not a Tactic continues. Thanks for being with us.